Hey, and welcome to my channel. My name is Mandy, the Handmade Homeschooler, and I'm going to be talking about new habits that I have been forming for homeschool and for life over this last summer. There's been a lot of changes going on, and quite honestly, some of them have been so refreshing, and I'm really glad that I decided to kind of just jump in and give these things a try. Because some of these things have been bugging me forever and I wasn't sure how to fix them, but now we're going to be having a chat about it. So down below in the description box, I have a link to our free Facebook group and to a whole bunch of different curriculum trials, links and things like that to stuff that we use. So if you need any of that, it's all down there for you. So right before the kids got out of school for the summer, like late April, I got the word that I officially have rheumatoid arthritis. And that's kind of what got the ball rolling with all of this, was this brand new diagnosis. I saw a rheumatologist, I had the blood test done, and then I started kind of on this health journey. And I already work out a lot. And, for some reason I was getting really frustrated because doctors kept putting me on these different medications that I was gaining a little bit of weight, and that was really bothering me. So I was like, you know what? I'm tired of this. I'm going to figure this out. So over the summer, I cleaned up my eating tremendously. Like I totally overhauled my eating. I overhauled the entire kitchen in my house, and I lost 20 pounds since then, which was huge for me. And I have so much more energy and, I feel so much better. I'm back to where I was, prior to all this stuff. And, I feel a lot better, and I feel like I have so much more pep in my step now. And that's really helped me mentally. So really everything started with this. So that diagnosis led to me dropping all this weight and overhauling how my family eats. So then that led to this next one, which was I realized how much time I was spending on my phone. And I realized this a couple months ago, about halfway through the summer, and I was like, man, there is a setting. If you have a smartphone, there is a setting, especially on the iPhone, where you can see how much time you've been spending on your phone. Well, I'm too embarrassed to tell you the amount of time that I was spending on my phone. And honestly, it wasn't even for like work and for all of this stuff for YouTube and everything. 90% of it was me doom scrolling, like late at night and, early in the morning. And I was doing stupid things on the internet, and I wasn't even engaging with anyone. I was just reading stuff and consuming, and I was about halfway through the summer, I'm like, what am I doing? Like, I'm not doing anything productive, and this is silly. And I realized it because I was spending so much more time in the kitchen and working out and doing things like that I really wasn't touching my phone anymore. And I realized how much more clarity I had, and I was like, this is silly. I need to get this under control. So I actually picked up a book on my Kindle called 12 Ways Your Phone is Changing You. If you have not read this book, you need to read this book. This is a Christian book, but I think that this is good for anybody, about ways that your phone is changing you and the ways that it changes your brain. I was really surprised, and I noticed, the biggest thing that I noticed that he pointed out in the book was how it affects your brain's ability to read written words, like on a page. And I noticed I was having a serious problem, and I thought it was my rheumatoid arthritis, because with RA, with autoimmune diseases, a lot of times we get brain fog. We don't remember things well. Like, I'm really suffering from that, and it's been a real battle. And it's been something that I've been fighting for months now, and I couldn't figure out what it was. And now that I have the diagnosis, I'm like, oh, well, that makes sense. But that's not what it was. You know what it was? my ability to not be able to read words on pages as well and absorb the content was directly related to me scrolling on my phone so much and using my laptop so much. That's what it was. And when I started putting my phone away, I was able to concentrate on words on paper more. And I was like, oh my goodness. It's like a light bulb moment. And when I realized the connection, I knew I had stumbled upon something. So what I do now is after I get up in the morning and I turn my alarm clock off, I leave my phone in my bedroom. Now, if it rings, like my watch will actually buzz me if it rings, and it'll tell me, it has a caller ID, and it'll tell me who it is. So if it's like, you know, my mom or somebody important, I can go in and answer it. And the same thing with text messages. I'll get like a text message alert on my phone and I could see who it's from. But other than that, I've been leaving my phone in my bedroom, and that has tremendously helped me. Now, I have my laptop, but I use it pretty much just for work now. And when I say work, it's for this brand. This brand is my main work now. And I have basically forced myself to find other things to do. Now, this wasn't easy because I don't think a lot of times we realize how addicted to our phones we actually are. And when you take it away, it's very apparent. And, you know, like, I'm embarrassed, like, actually admitting this to y'all, but it's true. And, you know, I'm hoping that maybe some of you guys will glean something from this and, you know, be able to use this from my experience. But leaving my phone in my bedroom has helped a lot. I leave it face down on my nightstand on the charger, and I don't touch it. And I check it at the end of the day. There's a couple times during the day I check it just to make sure that I didn't miss any calls or text messages and things. But I think that this is going to be great for me when it comes to homeschooling because I'm going to be more present. And you know, the other thing was I didn't want my kids growing up looking back on memories of us and remembering that mom was just like this all day long, you know, on a phone. Like, I don't want my kids to have that as their memory of me growing up. So, you know, I'm doing this really for them too, and for my marriage. Like, there's a lot of things, you know, that suffer, and your marriage is one of those things that suffers too. So I've been putting those away. And the thing that I picked up was I started reading more because I want my brain to go back to the way that it was when it was reading written words. So I've been reading a ton, and right now I'm reading 3 different books. I have the books for you too. So I'm finally reading the Sproul's book, The Last Days According to Jesus. This is one of the only ones I think of his that I haven't read yet. I'm doing another read through of The Pilgrim's Progress. This one is the Generations copy. And I'm reading the Christian Homemaker's Handbook. Love this book. This is such a practical book. I wish I would have had this like when I first got married, honestly. But I have just loved this book, and I've learned so much from it. This one is from Crossway. It has several different authors inside, and it's like a college course in a book on homemaking. Absolutely love it. I've had such a ball reading this book. I have to force my brain to slow down and actually absorb the words, because what I read in the 12 Ways Your Phone is Changing You book is that when you are reading on a phone or an iPad or any type of glowy screen, basically your brain wants to skim, and that's what your brain does, is your brain starts skimming the words. And I noticed that that's what I'm doing, and I'm already naturally a fast reader, and I was already doing that. So you put a glowy screen in front of me and I can skim like nobody's business. So I'm trying to train my brain. I'm doing brain training right now. So I don't know. I will keep you posted on how this all goes. I even limited the time that I can spend on my apps in my settings. So I can only spend a short amount of time a day on my phone in those apps, and I only use that if I'm out and like there's like an emergency type of situation, or I get like a message from one of my parents via Facebook, that type of thing. So I make sure that I can still respond to that type of stuff, but I've severely limited it. Now, because I'm doing this brain training, it's kind of led me to this next one, which is I've been reading more of the kids' books to be more prepared for school. You guys know I've done a lot of videos this summer about being prepared for school and prepping. I've never prepped in this capacity, and I'm really glad that I did this because school starts on Monday for us, so that's less than a week away, and I feel more prepared this year than any other year. I feel like ready to go. I have done most of the clean out in the schoolroom. I have prepped 8 weeks of curriculum for all the ones that I'm teaching. All of the rest of them, the kids are taking online like classes and things like that. So the ones that I'm teaching, I've already prepared them. I know exactly what we're jumping into. I've already reviewed them again. All we got to do is sit down and start. So there's going to be no surprises come Monday morning. So, you know, usually I don't prep nearly as much. I just kind of, I don't want to say like I just, like it's a fly-by-night type of thing. But, you know, I kind of peek at it, that type of thing. I make sure we have all the supplies on hand. This time, no, I sat down and I took notes in a notebook. And I read it and I made sure that I understood that material before class started. So that's totally brand new for me, but I'm really glad that I did it. And that one kind of led me to this last one, which was I started decluttering my entire house. I don't know what got into me. I kind of do this once a year. I never know when it's gonna happen or when the mood is gonna strike, but a lot of times it's summertime when I have more time on my hands. I just got a whole bunch of garbage bags and I just started throwing things in there. And I've made a bunch of donation runs. I've donated everything from furniture to clothes to, you know, tons of stuff that had to go in the trash. And, you know, because we live here 24/7, you know, none of us, you know, go outside for work. You know, the kids are at home 24/7. Things just accumulate. And, you know, we've lived here now for 5 or 6 years. And the stuff is coming into the house, but nothing's really going out. So I rolled up my sleeves this summer and I just went on a rampage. You know, I think they call it like rage cleaning, and that's kind of what I did. Really glad that I did it. I kept active and everything because that's one of the things my rheumatologist wants me to do. He wants me to keep active. So I've really tried to find things that help keep me moving and keep my body moving. I don't know, I just started rage cleaning. Is there a rage decluttering? Because I started doing a rage decluttering and I got the homeschool room done. I got my bedroom done. I reduced my closet by about 50%. Totally loved it. It was great. So yeah, definitely happy with all of the changes. And this has been a great summer. It's been very different. I feel like life is really changing, but these are great habits for me as a mom and as a wife and as a homeschooling parent. I feel like this is going to make me so much more present and active in my kids' lives and in our school as well, because now that I'm, you know, actively training my brain to read more written words, this is going to help me with their homeschool material as well. So I can only see these things as positive changes. Yes, they were hard changes, but they were totally needed. So that is all I have for this video. Kind of like a little life update, what's going on at our house. Not a whole lot. It's been kind of a crazy summer with everything, and I'm really happy to be going back into school because I'm a very routine type of person and I like the routine of school. It fits my personality a lot. I think school is just so natural for me. And I think that's one of the reasons why I wanted to be a teacher as a kid, was because it's just such a natural rhythm for me to fall into, and I really like that pattern. So yeah, I'm glad to be getting back into school and back, you know, to our normal routine and, you know, get back on track. So I'm excited to start school. I'm gonna finish probably picking up some things in the room today and getting everything ready for Monday, because Mondays are right around the corner. So I can't wait to dive in and see what the kids think about all the new curriculum too, because I have loved everything. I will see you guys in the next video. I hope you guys have had a great summer. I will see you next time. Happy homeschooling.